explain to me again why this was not robbery?
Video footage of Kevin Franke's interaction with law enforcement after he wanted to press charges against his daughter Shari for burglary have just been released. This footage was obtained by KUTV2 News, so we're going to watch it, then break it down. So make sure you watch till the end for a full understanding.
There you go. Is it all there?
Yes. Yeah, explain to me again why this was not robbery?
Because it's a civil issue. You guys are family. She's been in the house before. You haven't been in the house in a year. She had interest in the items. She didn't take them with the intention to deprive you of them. So theft, that's the theft code. We have to prove intent to deprive you of the items. And that wasn't her intent in having them. So the detective sergeant said that we're not going to charge her for anything.
Okay. I'll have to do some more research on that.
You're welcome to do that. If you want to follow up with her, text me yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be here on Tuesday. His name's Sergeant McCoy. Okay. You're welcome. Take care.
Now, the first thing I noticed, and I'm sure a lot of you will notice as well, is Kevin Franke's appearance and his demeanor. He appears to be very tired and a lot thinner than what we've seen in previous videos and photographs. Although those are older pictures and videos, he just doesn't appear to be well, which is understandable given the current situation. He also is visibly upset that he's unable to press burglary charges against his daughter Shari. Now, we knew previously that Kevin had cut communication with his family, including Shari, and you would think that after Ruby's arrest, this would be a time for them to come together and join forces in doing what's in the best interest of the children, but no, Kevin thinks it's right to try to press charges against his own daughter. Now that you've seen the original video unedited, I'm gonna blow it up so you can really see his facial expressions.
Go. Is it all there?
Yes. Yeah, explain to me again why this was not robbery?
Because it's a civil issue. You guys are family. She's been in the house before. You haven't been in the house in a year. She had interest in the items. She didn't take them with the intention to deprive you of them. So theft, that's the theft code. We have to prove intent to deprive you of the items. And that wasn't her intent in having them. So the detective sergeant said that we're not going to charge her for anything. Okay.
I'll have to do some more research on that.
You're welcome to do that. If you want to follow up with her, text me yourself.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure a body analysis expert will break this whole video down, but to me, just the whole video, he seems like he's visibly upset. So how did we get here? How did we get to the point of Kevin wanting to press charges against Shari? So on August 30th was the day that Ruby and Jodi were first arrested. That same day, police executed a search warrant at the Franke residence when they were searching for the two other children breaching the front door.
That same day, Springville police found two of Franke's other children.
The two girls were at Pam Botchter's house. Ruby Franke had reached out to her and said she had a family emergency and could she get the two girls. It's reported that the two girls wanted to stay with Pam, but the DCFS worker told them they would need to go with their older sister Shari or go into foster care, which they ultimately chose to go with Shari.
A police report says they were in American Fork with a woman named Pam Botcher, who told officers Ruby had called her saying she had a family emergency and asked if her kids could stay with her.
Botcher told us that this was not an odd request, as she has had blank and blank over to her residence before to do housework and other chores for her. I find it kind of odd that Pam mentions the girls come to her house to do chores and not just, oh, I know Ruby, we work together through Connexions, which Pam and Jodi were also best friends, so just a little weird.
The two children wanted to stay with Bodger, police wrote, but were ultimately placed with Ruby's oldest daughter.
The next day, on August 31st, Shari had gone to the home to gather clothing and personal items for her two sisters. A DCFS caseworker was also at the home gathering items for the two other children who were in state's custody. I honestly feel like Kevin is holding a grudge against Shari because she got custody of the two other girls and he did not. The caseworker informed police they believed Kevin might be home and that he may not be cooperative, which is why they requested police assistance. When law enforcement arrived, Shari Franke, the DCFS worker, and a few other family members were already inside the Franke home. Then, on September 1st, Kevin Franke calls the police department wanting to file the burglary charges. Now, in the first article by KUTV that came out, it says that Kevin allegedly reported that electronic items, specifically his electronic journals, were missing. He told the officers he believes his oldest daughter, Shari, is responsible due to a statement she made in court today. Then, in the most recent article, it says, according to police, Kevin wanted to have his daughter charged with theft for taking some hard drives out of the house, as he stated in the report. I don't know if it's just me, but I consider electronic journals and hard drives to be two separate things, so I just wanted to point that out. The officer told Kevin that the front door had been broken in after a search warrant was served days prior and had not been broken by his oldest daughter. Kevin stated that Shari is not allowed in the home and that he believes she entered unlawfully and he wants her charged with burglary, read an officer's statement. Kevin states he does not want any of the children mentioned in the home at this time. I again explained that they needed to get essential items of theirs that were in the home, which he did not seem to think was relevant. This right here is one of the reasons why Kevin should not have custody. He was not concerned with the fact that all of his children who were ripped away from their home didn't have any clothing or personal items, which proves he does not care about their well-being. As for the items reported missing from the home, Kevin's daughter brought them to the police station to be handed over to Kevin. In the box was 3 tablets, 3 cell phones, 3 camera GoPros, a stack of written journals, and 3 passports for Kevin, Ruby, and Chad, the officer's narrative stated in the report. The officer said he explained to Kevin over the phone that due to the circumstances surrounding the incident, they would not be filing charges against Shari, and that would be considered a civil issue due to her intent not to deprive him of the items. So they already explained this to Kevin over the phone, but when he came to pick up the items, he asked a second time, so he was obviously very annoyed. Kevin then advised he was going to sue the police department, the officer wrote. Kevin was displeased with this answer and advised that we would be hearing from his attorney. Now, speaking of Kevin's attorney, he had an interview scheduled with 2 News, but it was canceled due to the current state of the juvenile court case. Kester shared a statement with 2 News that said, Kevin didn't do either. He and Shari are working together on bygones and resuming a loving and healthy father-daughter relationship. Kevin is still trying to understand and correct the upside-down world that was dealt him. It's a lot to deal with all at once. Now, as we know, the child welfare hearing has been sealed to the public. Kevin Franke is trying to gain custody of his children. Shari Franke has been in attendance at these hearings, and family members are allowed to attend once their relationship has been verified. So I honestly wonder if any of Ruby's family is going to try to gain custody, specifically her parents, the kids' grandparents. It's mind-blowing to think that Kevin Franke would actually press charges against his daughter for burglary. Yeah, she shouldn't have taken items that belonged to him, but in this situation, I think it's pretty reasonable of her to want to look for things that may be considered evidence or that maybe she could use in trying to gain custody of her sibling. Kevin has not lived in this home in over a year or communicated with his children. And now all of a sudden he's moved back into the Franke home, and now Shari has custody of 2 of her siblings and they're staying wherever it is they're staying. Kevin could have offered to let them stay there since it is their home and he has somewhere else to stay. But no, he wants to move into the Franke home and most likely have control of everything inside. We have yet to hear if Kevin is pursuing any kind of divorce or if he's going to stay married to Ruby or not, even after all of this. And listen, I understand parental alienation is really a thing, but your adult daughter tried to reach out to you multiple times and you just completely cut her off. And if you're as brainwashed as your lawyer is making it out to be, then maybe you need to do some deprogramming, some therapy, and some parenting classes before you try to gain custody of your children who have been through an extremely traumatic event. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what your guys' are down below in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more updates.